What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Mega Talks podcast. This is episode 16. I want to remind everybody to make sure you check out the previous podcasts. I'm speaking with other people such as photographers, business owners, athletes, musicians. There's some comedians. A lot of these people are multi-talented. They're owning their own businesses. A lot of depth to their personalities for you to discover. Also want to remind everybody, make sure they go check out the pre-sale that I have going on with my clothing line, Ultimate Expression. Also, we have the LA Culture shirt on sale. I'll post a link to the store up in the show notes. And taking a look at some future episodes, I have a review of Passion and Warfare from Steve Vai. I'm still editing on that. I was supposed to release it on his birthday on June 6th, so that'll be coming up. Episode 17, I speak with Melanie Hogan. On this episode, I'll be speaking with Christina Reed. She's an entrepreneur. She's an IFBB pro. She's in accounting. She owns her own business called Pro League Training. And she's also worked with Channel 11 out of Little Rock, Arkansas. So we'll be discussing her evolution and her success that she's had within the fitness industry. Welcome, everybody. This is Mega Talks. I'm here with a good friend of mine that hadn't talked to in a good long while, but is glad to reach out and get back in touch with her and let her tell her story here on the podcast today. Her name is Christina Reed. She's an IFBB pro. She's captured several trophies and had great stage moments from performances in Northwest Arkansas and the NPC Miss Arkansas figure. How you doing today, Christy?
I'm great. How are you?
Do you mind me calling you Christy?
That's weird. That's a blast from the past, but you can, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I've known you and kind of, after you moved off a little bit, I discovered that you were doing what I call bodybuilding. You may call it something different.
No, I call it bodybuilding.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about how you got made your transition into the fitness life.
Well, I was turning 30, and I've always been active, but when I turned 30, I was like, well, what is my biggest fear in the world? And at the time, that was being public speaking or being in front of groups of people, where I was up and I was in front of everybody and I was this, on the spot or the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I couldn't handle it. So I decided, I was like, squash that. I'm 30. I got to get over this. So I decided I was going to get the best shape of my life and do a figure competition. And so that's kind of where it started. I made a plan. I trained for 9 months, and then I went out there and did my first show. And after that, when I was there, I'm like, no, I'm never doing this again, ever, ever, ever. I hate it. I'm starving. I'm tired. This is miserable. I hate it. Oh, my gosh.
Uh-huh.
And then I won 3 classes, 3 overall titles, and the state natural bodybuilding title for the year, and I was hooked. I mean, there was no going back, and I did it for 10 years. So,
was there anybody that that kind of motivated you, that you looked up to?
Honestly,
like
there wasn't a whole lot of women out there that I liked because it was so new. There weren't a lot of great women athletes in my division. There was always women's bodybuilding, and they were huge, but that's not where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
So Monica Brandt was probably one woman that I thought was awesome because she was very humble and her physique was beautiful and she always stayed feminine. But there was another lady, her name is Pauline Norden. She's from Sweden, and she wasn't a competitor very long, but she does the fighter diet. And I just loved her physique. So I looked at her pictures. I didn't really listen to her for motivation, but her body type for me was just beautiful. Mm-hmm. So when I looked at a body, I looked at her. But when I was inspired by someone's character, I looked at Monica Brandt.
Oh,
so, yeah.
So, just kind of, you said you trained for 9 months, and for me, I know a little bit about the training world, but 9 months seems like a quick turnaround.
I could tell you some amazing things. The best supplement for me in the world was God.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, seriously. When I make up my mind and I
Uh-huh.
pray on it and I meditate daily on it and I don't divert from my plan, I'm one of those people. If you ask around, they're like, she won't cheat on her diet. She won't miss a training day. If she's sick, if it's snowing, it doesn't matter. I have no excuses. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've had my closest friends say, "How do you keep going? How do you do this? How do you stay so focused, so motivated?" And I'm like, God, that's it.
Yeah.
Every single day I have to go back and get some energy there. And I'm like, that's where that came from.
The Rock.
So like I did train for 9 months for that show,
Mm-hmm.
but you can even jump forward where I got my pro card in September of 2011 in the natural organization, which is IPE now. It was different then. But and my husband at the time didn't care for bodybuilding so much. So I was like, okay, fine, I got my card, I quit. And I literally laid down fitness for a year and a half. I did no cardio, I did no lifting, I didn't go to the gym, I did nothing.
Wow.
And so a year and a half went by and I was like, you know what? I want to train again. I have to train again. I have to. And in 13 weeks, I got an IFBB pro card, which is absolutely unheard of. So I went from sitting on the couch eating cheesecake and pizza and wine every day, to
13
back on
weeks.
it. Yeah, five hours a day in the gym training.
Really?
And then, and so at 6 weeks mark, I was like, I'm going to do a show just to kind of brush up on my stage presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I won that show. And then I went on to the Arkansas State show. I won that show in the overall. So I was in the master's class at that time. I was 35 years old, about to turn 36. And I won both classes and the overall show. Then I went to Dallas, Europa, which is the third largest show in the nation. And I won that show. And then I went to Pittsburgh and I won my pro card in 13 weeks. So that's a God thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of shows in that amount of time.
Oh yeah, and I was crazy. I could never just do one. I was like, oh, I think I'll do another one. Oh, I think I'll do another one. It was so addicting to me. The life, the people.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fun. It was just so much fun.
Now, were you working at the time?
Oh yeah, I worked a full-time job as an assistant controller at Channel 11.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting up around 4 every morning and training for 2 hours. And then I would go to work. I'd get off work. I'd go straight from work back to the gym about 5:30 and I'd be there till about 9 every day.
I bet you went through a lot of workout clothes.
Yeah, I did. Laundry for days.
I know. To get that many workouts in, that much sweat.
Yeah. Yep.
So, balancing between the full-time job and, being in the fitness life, I know how that is to balance, job between fitness and the dedication that it takes. What kind of sacrifices did you have to make?
Well, it's obvious. It's not good on a marriage to be that dedicated with that amount of time, unless that person is standing right next to you. If you're lucky enough that you have someone that is right there in it with you, then that's different.
To be supportive.
Yes, like you have to have that, and that's your closest ally in this world.
Yeah.
So you really have to have that strong support system. But also, he worked out of town a lot, so I had a lot of free time where he was gone, and it wasn't as much of an issue. But it was obviously very difficult to maintain home life sometimes. But my work, weirdly, loved it, so they supported me.
Nice.
And then they're like, you're gonna get your time off, and they put up with my moods and my stinky food, my fish and my cabbage and whatever. So you're gonna have to sacrifice. You're gonna sacrifice friends, because there's gonna be people who do not understand why you can't come to their cookout, why you can't eat. Well, it's just a little bit. Have one cupcake, have one cookie.
Yeah.
And they do not understand that level of discipline, and I don't expect anyone to. It's you got to be a little bit crazy to be that on that level.
You could take it to an obsession.
Yeah, it looks like an obsession,
from
but
the outside.
I mean, anyone in life that is in an elite class has to be obsessed. You have to be obsessed with and have the passion to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not for everybody. It's
Oh
not for
yeah,
everybody.
I
And I
understand
coach
that.
now. I've coached for the last 4 years. And so from the very first conversation, I know who's going to make it. I know who's not going to make it. I know how far they're going to go
Mm-hmm.
from the first conversation.
And you're still coaching now, right?
I am still coaching. Yeah.
And that's pro league training.
Yes.
Okay. And are you just like a member?
No, I'm the owner.
Okay.
So, I mean, I write all the diets. I write all of the training sessions. Some people, I don't like to train people as much now. I like my time for
Mm-hmm.
me. So I write a lot of training programs, and then they just go in the gym and they check in with me once a week. Here's my results. Same thing with diets. I do have one prep diet guy that I'm actually prepping all his meals every week, and he picks up his meals. So it just depends on the person and what their needs are and how much time I have.
If they're
How much
actually
I
going to be
do.
motivated to follow through.
Yeah, I don't keep those people very long.
Yeah.
And everybody around me will say, "Hey, if you're gonna talk to her, you have to be serious."
Uh-huh.
Because one thing I don't like is wasting my time.
Oh yeah.
So if you're not coming and you're not full speed, don't just get a different coach. There's plenty of them out there that take your money. I mean, it's true. So, if you tell me you want something, I'm gonna want it as bad as you do. And if I see you don't want it like that anymore, I'm gonna have to let you do something else. So,
And I was going to ask you about when you went out and you winning a lot of awards in your first shows, kind of being a new person on the scene and winning so many awards. What was your specialty? I mean, what separated you from the rest?
Posing, by far, hands down. So, if you do all that work and you literally cannot present it, or you can't hide your weaknesses, it doesn't matter how much work you did, someone's going to beat you. And so I spent hours and hours and hours perfecting my posing. I knew because with my body from the front and the back, I'm extremely symmetrical measurement wise and proportion wise. So like my legs match my top, your top matches your bottom, and then your front matches your back. But when I would turn to the side, I was very tiny. And so other girls who had like thick, dense backs, looked bigger than me.
Yeah.
So you can create an illusion that you are as big as them just by tweaking your waist, another inch, or moving your arm a certain way. So posing was the biggest thing that separated me, for sure.
Did the chair have anything to do with it?
I didn't cheer.
No, the chair.
Oh, a chair.
Yeah.
No. I did get paid for that.
You did?
Yeah.
Because I saw the performance. I saw it on YouTube where you posed with the chair. Yeah, that was a
guest posing event.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure which one that was from, but I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, they in the bodybuilding shows at night, they usually have an intermission and they have a guest poser. So they have someone that comes out and performs and entertains. So I was the guest poser for that show.
Now, did you come up with the poses by yourself, or did you have a coach for that?
Most of my posing is me. The chair routine I stole from a girl from Kansas City that's a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, okay.
I didn't have enough time to they called me about 2 weeks before that and was like, "Hey, we don't have anybody you want to." I was like, "Sure, I'll throw something together." And I there's a girl, what is her name? Patricia Beckman, I think is her name. Oh, yeah. And she has been doing natural bodybuilding for a long time, and her routines are always just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And
so I snagged that one.
Oh, okay. And as far as coaching, you talked about you done coaching, and when you started the competitions, did you have a coach then, like to get you in and to the gym, tell you what all exercises to do?
I've never had a coach.
How did you learn?
I read. I read a lot. I read. And I started with, this sounds crazy, but like Arnold's, like basically his Bible of bodybuilding is this huge, thick book. It has diet, movements, blah, blah, blah. And I started there. because to me, and it's one thing that all the guys I've ever trained around said, go back to the basics, keep it simple, do the basics,
Yeah.
the basics work. And so that's where I started. I started in the basics, and I learned basic diet, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was kind of trial and error of what worked with my body.
Yeah.
And so once I learned my body, I could switch foods out, but and my body would react differently to each one, and then you just kind of you learn and you go
Mm-hmm.
from there. And then also training, once you get to a certain level, because you're training, it's the same thing. Like I got to a point, they're like, your arms are going to get too big, they're going to overpower your shoulders. So I didn't train arms at all for 4 years. Like I
Wow.
didn't touch my arms.
Shoot.
So I trained my shoulders 2 or 3 times a week, and then
Mm-hmm.
it was like, well, your quad sweep's not it's not wide enough, so your waist looks tiny enough compared. Literally, I could stand next to a girl,
Mm-hmm.
same size, same weight, but her waist was 18 inches and mine's 22. I look huge. I look like a tree. She has this beautiful symmetry. So
uh,
you have to
need more
you have
shape.
to stop training on the with just the basics and like start to really dial in each body part and look at how you look on stage as a whole package.
And that,
So
that can be the tough part.
it is, but it's art and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have enough vision to see it, you can do that. But that's where a coach comes in, because a lot of the new people, they have no idea. They're just trying to figure out, how do I get my tan booked, and where's my hotel going to be? And I'm the one who worries about your symmetry, and
Uh-huh.
I literally like, send me your pictures. And to them, they're like, "Oh, she's just looking at my fat roll." But I'm
Yeah.
I'm circling things like, this needs help. This is where we're going to start. Okay, we have this amount of time. Let's change your V taper. Let's change the things that you're going to be judged on. Let's change your shoulder caps. Let's bring your waist in. Let's work on your quad sweep. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where a coach comes in
Now, how
that I
much
didn't have.
how much
But
targeting in the area is diet versus weight training or lack of weight training?
that's a balance. I mean, abs. It's always going to be diet.
Yeah.
Period. That's the answer. Everybody's like, well, how many crunches should I do a day? I'm like, well, what do you eat? You eat McDonald's and drink Coke every day? It doesn't matter. Don't do any. Just do zero,
Yeah.
because your midsection, that's always going to be your diet,
Mm-hmm.
period. And then other things, women don't naturally have large legs. You're going to have to work your legs. That's got to be a workout. I don't care that it hurts, but that's
Yeah.
what you
Working
have to
quads
do
can be a
to.
pain.
Yes. So, it really depends on which body part you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And some people don't get it. The working legs, they'll work legs less. And I'm like, that holds your body up. If your upper body is going to get bigger, you're going to suffer. Your legs are going to suffer anyway because they got to hold all that weight if you're gaining
That's right.
upstairs.
Yep. And not just that, like stretching. No one understands the importance of stretching
Hmm.
at all. If you don't stretch the muscle, it won't grow.
Because you got
It
to
doesn't
get it to
it doesn't
tear.
have it. Yeah. It's so easy to tear. It's not going to grow as large. It just impinges you to keep. It won't allow you to grow any bigger. You'll plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, don't you like tying your shoes? I mean, when I'm 80, I want to be able to tie my shoes.
Oh, for sure. Get up out of a
No
chair.
Velcro for me.
The simple stuff. I want to be able to do that stuff.
That's right. They also don't understand, like men, they'll love training upper body and they don't like training legs, but they don't understand the more muscle that's a large muscle group. And the more muscle you put on, the faster you burn fat. Because
Mm-hmm.
muscle takes more calories, burns
Oh,
more
yeah.
calories than fat cells do. So work
Is
your
it
legs, dudes.
when you get a new client? Is that one of the hardest things to get them to understand? The
No, no, no. The hardest thing for them to understand is you can't out train those cheats, those little bitty bites every single day. Oh, it's just 2 bites of a cookie. That's huge, like that. And then sleep and water.
oh
Those three
man.
things. The little bitty cheats throughout the day, not having enough water
Mm-hmm.
for repair and everything else that water has to do for your body, and sleep. If you don't sleep, you don't release growth hormone. Growth hormone is
Mm-hmm.
what repairs your body. If you're not tearing it and then rebuilding it, you're not going to grow. Period.
What's the suggested amount of sleep? Because I hear between 7 and 9 hours. What's
I was
yours?
going to say, it depends on the person. I was going to say 6 to 8. Women
Oh yeah.
actually need a little more than men,
Hmm.
scientifically proven.
Hmm.
But especially if you're training like that.
Yeah. I know as
Shoot,
far
I'm
as
an
just
advocate for naps at this point.
that's me too.
Hmm.
I can usually function just everyday stuff off of 3 hours of sleep, or when I was working tough shifts, I could function off 3 hours. But there's days I could crash for over 8 and sleep almost 12, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
your body doesn't. I don't know, sometimes you feel really bad when you do that. I think it's just mentally bad, but your body feels better.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yep. Or do you feel bad, or do you not know what it feels like to get real sleep? You
Oh,
see what
I'm
I'm
talking about
saying?
like if
Like we get so used to running on 3,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we take stimulants to get through our day that you don't even know how you feel when you get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I usually feel
So,
really well after between 7 and 9. I try not to sleep over 9 or something like that, but I
yeah,
have my
me either.
days that I want to. If it's anything, it's a little lounging, not really a power nap, but I'll stay in bed and just like lounge before I get up instead of just
Yeah.
waking up and going straight after things, and gives you time to think, meditate, and you know
Mm-hmm.
catch up if you need to.
I agree with that.
But not having the coach and bring yourself through the weight training, the diets, and leading up to the coaching. What's your greatest success?
In the fitness stuff, probably my IFBB Pro card.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it's elusive. It's hard to get anyway. Um, and then to do it after having a year and a half off and training for 13 weeks, that's amazing in itself. Um, that in fitness that would probably be my greatest.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, because it wasn't in my plan when I started back. When I started back, I was sponsored by Dymatize, and so they were sponsoring the show in Dallas, and all the people from Dymatize were going to be there. And so I was like, I'll just see what I can do. I'm only almost
Yeah.
36. Let's just see what I can do in 11 weeks, and I'll go do that show because they sponsor it. And that's crazy. That's the third largest show in the world. I mean, in my head when I started, I was like, well, if I'm last, I'm last. It's cool. And my goals were have fun. That was
Yeah.
the first time I went into a full-on prep saying, I'm going to have fun no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is hard, even though it's tiring, even though I'm hungry, I'm not going to have this same attitude about it. I'm going to have fun, even if I do it all alone, even
Yeah,
if I
that's
train
important.
alone or whatever. I just wanted to have fun. And so after I won the Dallas Europa, I came home and I booked a ticket to go to Pittsburgh. And in my head, I'm like, well, might as well, whatever, whatever. Huh?
I've been
And
here.
so,
I'm on a roll.
yeah. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I was just blown away. But so North Americans is the largest national show because it includes Mexico and Canada also, not just the United States. So there were 750 figure competitors that day. And so every girl that got first in their class, and it goes by height, got a pro card that day. So there was about 10 of us, I think, that got a pro card out of 750.
Hmm.
So that's
Shoot.
pretty
Yeah.
big deal. And that was my second national show I had ever done. I did one other one, I got fourth. And that's unheard of, to place in the top 4, never doing a national show, not having this high name coach,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Just kind of like, I watched these girls, they were like in muscular development MDs following them, doing online interviews, and they're like, she's a shoe in for the win this year, and blah blah. And I'm placed above them.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like,
You put in the
I
work.
just, yeah, yeah, and I don't know, it that was probably my biggest accomplishment.
I think some people mistake that. They mistake the value inside themselves, and they place more value on other people helping them succeed, and they
Oh,
don't
they
realize their
absolutely do.
potential.
Well, I got this coach.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they also don't have a lot of awareness, because I've literally told people when they come to me and they're like, I want to be an IFBB pro. And I'm going to say to them, I don't sugarcoat. And I'm considered mean sometimes because I just say the truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes the truth is no matter what you do, no matter how hard you train, no matter what, your genetics won't allow that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't make a bone longer.
No.
It's true. You know, so it's hard for them to hear it. I can say, I can make you a top 10 athlete on a national stage.
Uh-huh.
I can make you a pro in the natural organization because they're more strict on certain things and they're not as strict on other things. You know, like I've seen people with fantastic physiques, but at the end of the day, you can pretend that a bodybuilding show isn't about how pretty you are in the face, and that's bullcrap. If you are not marketable at an elite level, they don't want you.
Gotta have the full package.
I've seen IFBB pro judges specifically tell women, go get fillers, go get Botox, come back and talk to me. You'll place higher.
Yeah.
It's a business at that level. So if you want to know,
you're not just
what
going
it
to show
takes,
your body all the time.
Yeah, it's not all just about your physique. So there's a lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to it. And the other thing that people don't get is it takes years. If you're here for 3 months of training to go into a show and tell me you want to be a pro, I could probably do that in a natural organization with 12 months. But IFBB, you're gonna spend some time and you're gonna spend some money, but you're gonna spend some time.
Now you talk about a natural show. What are the what's the alternative between the natural and what else?
So what is the difference?
Yeah.
Between a natural show
and an
NPC show? No, a natural show is sanctioned by a natural organization. And so, like, we have the NPC, right, which is the National Physique Committee. So that's the United States. And then once you win a pro card, you go to the International Federation of Bodybuilding, IFBB, owned by the same person, 2 separate companies, you know, whatever. So International Federation is obviously the world.
Yeah.
In natural, they have the same thing, but theirs are broken up into regions. So instead of like the NPC, which is the country, they have regional natural organizations, and then they have the IFPE, which would be equal to an IFBB, but it's all natural. It's drug tested. So you're urine and polygraph tested at your shows.
But no blood.
No blood. And yes, cheating happens.
Oh yeah,
but,
I bet.
Yeah.
We get that in the, MMA world or, martial arts world, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. Yeah. So
how does posing make you feel? I mean, when I watched your video and the things that you do and some of your, your Instagram, the videos that you made, when you're posing, how does it make you feel when you're, making that connection with I guess your audience?
Like I said, it feels like art. To me, it's beautiful. It's like watching ballet, or it's some sort of artistic performance. I don't know how to put it, but the mind-muscle connection with every single muscle, to be able to flex muscles, to be able to breathe halfway into your diaphragm, to be able to move gracefully. It's just an art. It's fun. I don't know how to. You're in your own little world, and nobody else exists.
Yeah. Do you
crazy?
Does it get better with feedback? Have you ever had a moment on stage where you didn't think you were gonna get the feedback that you wanted, and it kind of throws your pace off?
No. While I'm on stage, like if nobody claps or everybody booed, I'd still feel good about myself. It'd be fine. The judges will give you feedback after a show, so. They may be like, you're too, which most of the time they never said anything about my posing. But other girls, it was, you're too rigid. You gotta be softer, or you need more confidence in the way you walk, or, you can tell who practiced. You can tell who put the time in to learn their own body and what each muscle group will do. And so,
And how much do you think was, that would give you a critique that was more jealousy than it was, trying to help?
Honestly, I feel like most of the judges were pretty honest. This is what
Mm-hmm.
I tell my athletes. There's going to be a judge who doesn't know his head from a hole in the ground. There's going to be
Mm-hmm.
at least one. There's going to be a judge who's extremely arrogant. So they're a little skewed in the way they see things. The ones in the middle, so drop those two.
Hmm.
Drop those two
Uh-huh.
and listen and take the thing that you hear echoed between all the other ones that you definitely need to work on. So, because there's always that arrogant one that's just like, no matter what, they're going to tell you, something is, like I had a black athlete, amazing genetics. I mean, like he was a
Mm-hmm.
pro from the day he was born. He came out of the
Oh,
womb as a
wow.
pro, period. This guy told him, and I was standing there, this guy told him, if you could just spike your hair up,
Oh,
you would
shoot.
do better in physique. And I literally said in front of that guy, no disrespect, but stop listening to him. And we walked away. Because sometimes if you're telling me that only a white athlete can win in physique, cool.
Yeah.
Then I know the rules. But to tell someone who can't make his hair spike is retarded.
Yeah.
So, there's just ones where you have to go, that guy is not, don't listen. And this one on the other end that doesn't like,
That's
literally doesn't even remember you on stage because they were probably texting. Don't
Mm-hmm.
listen. But those other ones in the middle, they usually take that job pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it's stressful up there because I'm also an NPC official judge.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, there's
it's stressful.
There's like 8 judges or something like that. There's a good number of
It
judges,
depends
right?
on the size of the show, but 8's pretty typical.
Yeah.
On a pro judging panel, it's at least 12.
Okay.
So, and there's always a head judge that like they kind of they're more seasoned. They've usually been around, and they may look at you and be like, "Really, that's what you saw?"
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, did you
for the most part, I feel like
before a show, did
judges
you
are-
have to do your weight cut? Did you have to do any of that?
We figure doesn't go by weight; we go by height.
Oh, okay.
But the way figure is judged, they did for a long time want you to be really dry. So I would deplete my water, and I usually would cut out 7 pounds or so that last week.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
we
did you
did
go
that,
about that?
but not for a weight. Natural diuretics for the most part, dandelion root,
Mm-hmm.
and then asparagus, and then some crazy things, like
Plastics.
no, like
Oh.
okay, so for the Dallas show when I did Europa, nobody would ride with me. I have no idea why, but it was August. It was either July or August, something like that. Anyway, so I drove in Texas heat with 3 layers of clothes on and a hoodie and my heater all the way on, and I dropped that last 5 pounds that I needed. If I had that water on me when I stepped on stage, I wouldn't have got first. I wouldn't even got noticed. So I always say I'm going to do the stuff nobody else is doing. I'm going to do the work nobody else is doing. While they're sleeping, I'm working.
Yeah.
You're not going to outwork me.
That's
So
that's the way it should be done.
yeah, if you want to win,
Mm-hmm. That's
So.
amazing because that shows determination, perseverance, and endurance to make it through something like that with, because you're uncomfortable when you're sweating all
Oh
that
man,
out.
you got sweat running in your eyes. You're trying to drive 4.5 hours.
Shoot.
You're taking you're taking dandelion root like it's going outside, so you got to stop, run in, pee, and you're in this hoodie and you're sweating, and people are looking at you like you're on drugs.
Oh yeah.
And you're
Stop the
tiny, look at how tiny I am in the first place. And then, to look at me at 104 pounds covered up, it's like, what kind of drugs is that little girl on? But, in my head, I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to Dallas.
Yeah.
This is my focus.
Nothing else exists except this show.
Nothing else exists until the day after and I get to eat pancakes.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Mm. So do you still work with the news station?
No, I left Channel 11 in 2016. I went to be an assistant controller at an agency. So basically, we would sell the air, and I went to work at an agency which produces the commercials, or what we call content. So then I left that place after a year, and I'm the business manager now at Agency 501 in Little Rock. They're a marketing agency.
Nice.
So we do, digital. We do digital and traditional media. Pretty cool.
And you do
it's
the
fun.
pro league training along with that?
I do that, yeah. And then rental property.
Oh, that's nice.
So, I'm a busy bee.
Around the clock?
Pretty much.
It's nice when you can make your own schedule.
It is. That's the coolest thing about working where I work is I'm actually on a 30-hour flex time for the first time in my life. So I can come in and be like, hey, I got to go, fix a door over here today for an hour, or I can go leave and grocery shop and prep this person's meals, or I can, go train someone and come back. As long as I'm doing my 30 and I'm doing my work, they're good. So it's been a real blessing.
That's nice. So with the media company, what's your main role? Like, what's your day like?
What's my day like? It's crazy. Do you know any people that are creatives? I mean, these people think outside the box. They don't color inside the lines. It's wild. But mainly, if you had to dissect what I do, I'm their accountant, I'm their HR, and at the moment, I'm kind of like an operations director because I'm coming up with they're 6 years old, so they don't really have a lot of written policy or procedure, and so it's kind of like one person does it this way, another person does it this way. If this person leaves, nobody knows what the heck they were doing. So I'm trying to build a little structure into.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it's a great job. I love it. So, and they trust me. And like the two owners and I all share an office, and it's the power trifecta is what it is. So, sometimes they're like, can I go by? No, you cannot. You cannot go buy something. No. But they listen. That's good.
Yeah. They listen to you, they'll succeed. Plus, coming in on an upstart of a business and being able to scale with them like that it's going to put you in a higher position as it grows.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's fun.
And shoot, I had some notes here I was looking at. I had something I was going to ask, and I have a lapse in memory.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, this is where the edits come in handy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's back to the coaching. As far as you have a client or somebody that calls you up and wants to do, maybe they're just like an amateur. They don't want to compete. They just want to get their health in better. They're kind of out of shape. They've been, dragging, been lazy for the last few months, and they want you to help them out and, just become a better person and make them feel better and not be the slouch that they've been. What do you say to them?
And they want to hire me?
Yeah.
Or they just want free advice? Because those are two different things.
Yeah, most of the people are going to pick your brain for the free advice at first.
Which I don't mind you picking
back.
My brain, but once you start trying to move into the house and get more information, we got to sit down and talk about something. But I actually enjoy what I call my normal clients more these days than I used to, because it's crazy, but they appreciate you.
Yeah.
So like a bodybuilder, or a figure athlete or whatever, men or women, they come in and they're about to suffer for 12 weeks. You're taking their food away. You're taking this away. You're hurting them, and every day it's, oh my God, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I'm so hungry. But a normal person that wants to change and wants to be better, wants to be off high blood pressure medication, wants to be off Ambien, wants to be off, I'm about to be diabetic, wants to change their life, man, those people appreciate you. Oh my gosh, like the guy I've been prepping food for, in 3 weeks, he's lost 21 pounds. And the only difference he's doing is eating food out of a bowl that I hand him. That's it. He hasn't changed his training. I haven't done anything else. That's it. And so, and that person is thankful. He's like, oh my gosh, I can go run now. Like my knees don't hurt, or I'm sleeping better. I've been on Ambien for 12 years and I can sleep all night without it. So those people, I actually enjoy working with those people a little more now. As long as I don't have the time to train every one of them, but if they want to check in with me and they listen and they take it seriously, man, I like them a lot better. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing against my bodybuilders. They're fun. It's fun, watching them morph into something completely different. But it's really cool to be, somebody to appreciate you
Hmm.
for what you're doing too. So I
Sometimes
love
working with
them.
somebody that's done it before, they've had, they had things that's worked for them, and they've had success with some of the things that's worked for them. But they, they want that extra little bit, and they go to somebody and ask for help, and they're a little bit stubborn and don't want to listen because,
Oh no, they don't like to listen
yeah.
because you're taking stuff away.
But when you have a blank slate to work with, somebody that hasn't done all that, anything that they do is success for them.
Hmm. Or just people that, maybe not, they're just being lazy, but literally, like a doctor says, hey, if you don't change, this is it. Like, you have to make some decisions. Those people are thankful that someone will stop and help.
Now, do you
So
have a certification and all that?
I do not,
And is that an obstacle when you train people and they look at
never.
you and they say, "Well, you
They
don't."
look at me and they're like, I want you to train me. And then I ask them a couple questions, and most of the time I say
Uh,
no.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
wow,
Because I told you from that first conversation,
you can tell.
I can tell. And so if you're going to do it for 3 weeks and then you're going to be gone, I'm not stopping my life for you. And that's not because I'm mean. That's because I'm going to hurt your feelings later.
Hmm.
I'm going to. So this is what I call them. There are personal trainers in every gym. They would love to have you. I told the girl one day, I said, where you got me messed up is you think I'm your employee instead of your coach. And I was
Yeah,
serious because, like, if I choose to be with you, then your goals become my goals.
yeah,
And I take it very seriously. I'm too disciplined of a person not to expect that level of discipline from you. So if you just want to come in every day and do 20 minutes of cardio, all, if all you're paying for is accountability,
hmm,
I can give you that without being present. I
yeah,
can text you, I can ask for pictures, I can have check ins, you know, but if you're asking me to be on a regular basis somewhere and train you and be around you, and that's different. I'm giving you a piece of my life.
yeah. They're
I
not paying
expect
you to
you to
be
treat it that way.
a yes man.
you know?
Yeah,
So
I
you
understand that.
usually can tell who's serious.
Hmm. What is So you like to figure better than the like bodybuilding?
Well, my frame is not bodybuilding. I will never, maybe in the natural world, I could do bodybuilding. But when I looked at women and I was like, hey, I want to compete on this level, I want to look like this. Um, I'm never, and back when I started looking at them, Iris Crowell, she was
Hmm.
Miss Olympia, and she is, I don't know if you know who she is, but she looks like all the bodybuilder dudes. I mean, she's
Dang.
humongous, humongous. I can't get like that with my frame.
Yeah,
And if I wanted to try the amount of drugs it would take to do that, I'm not willing to do.
it would take a while.
So yeah. Well, and a huge amount of drugs. You're giving up. I mean, I'm just gonna say it like it is. You're giving up your reproductive health. You're giving up some of your heart health. You're
Hmm.
giving up some years off your life. And if you're okay with that, that's great. I'm no judge. I really have, whatever. But at that level,
That's what it
um,
takes.
yeah, and I wasn't willing to do that.
Hmm.
So to me, figure at the time, all we had when I went in was bodybuilding and figure, and that was it. Your choices were to be huge or to be what they called feminine. Um,
Oh yeah.
but now we have bikini. You're about 10 to 13% body fat, and you have a little less muscle, and then you have figure, and then you have physique, and then you had bodybuilding, which they're phasing out. So those girls have to make the decision now to lose muscle and come down to physique or quit because there's nowhere for them to go.
Hmm.
So, there's more options these days
Yeah, they got to
for
find somewhere
everybody
to
to
fit
fit
in.
into. Hmm. and different structures. Like me and my best friend a few years ago, she was the same height, the exact same height, exact same weight, but her muscle from her hip or her bone from her hip to her knee was longer than mine. Her waist was higher than mine and tighter than mine. And so
Hmm.
she was perfect for bikini. She's the only IFBB bikini girl in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but we're the same height and the same weight. But our structures were completely different. She would never look good in figure, and I would never. I could probably get down to bikini, but I don't think I can get my waist that small now. I'm too old.
Did you think
So,
your height had anything to do with any of your, I mean, where you win or your performances?
honestly, at a national level and down, um, not a whole lot. When you're compared to other girls, my thing was the fact that I'm absolutely symmetrical. The bone from my hip to my knee and the bone from my knee to my ankle is exactly the same length. And then my upper torso is the exact same length as my lower torso. So I'm literally
Wow.
mathematically symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
So when you stand that on stage, you can see it. You
Yeah.
can literally see the differences in people. So yes, my height mattered because
Mm-hmm.
of the measurements. Um, but when you get up to IF, and we were in height classes, so you're compared to other girls your height. But when you
Okay.
get to IFBB pro level or even an IPE pro level and natural, you're all lumped together. There's no height class, and the tall girls usually win.
Hmm. That's interesting.
So, you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just prettier.
Yeah. I don't
They
know.
don't look as blocky.
Hmm.
If I sent you a picture, you'd be like, "Oh, I see what you're saying."
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, all shapes and sizes. It seems like
Yeah,
your eye wouldn't just go to one over the other. But I guess when you stack them next to each other, I don't know.
yeah.
I guess it just depends on your point of view.
It is, and that's a good point. Is it is so subjective.
Yeah.
You're doing all this work and all this money and all this time and all these drugs at most of the time on that level
Hmm.
for someone's opinion.
Yeah.
So you can't get so caught up in it. You can just take their critiques and then
Hmm.
try again.
All right. So I will ask you a couple of questions here. What's been your worst experience in fitness industry? And it can be a competition. It could be training. It could be anything.
Um, I'm just gonna be blunt, but in the natural organization, they're smaller. So once they learn your name, which is something I want to do, they want you to be out there so much that they learn your name. Because if they learn your name, everybody can learn your name. Then you get bumped up higher. But if they don't like you, they don't like your attitude, they don't like your mouth, they don't like your athletes, they don't like
Hmm.
you, then you're treated that way too. So, like right now, I know that there's a lot of people that still don't like me, and I've been gone from that scene for over 7 years. And sometimes I tell my athletes not to mention my name if they're competing in natural
Yeah.
because I don't want it to hurt them,
Hmm.
So, once someone, which they just did a whole cleaning of the houses, I guess, all of the little states and regions and whatever. So they have a new president, which I think is way overdue. And so she doesn't know me, and I don't know her, and that excites the crap out of me for my athletes
That's
because
good.
once they form some sort of opinion about you, no matter if it's right or wrong, once they do, then
It's hard to
they,
break.
yeah, it really is. It's just like high school. You're the
Yeah, just
bad
like
kid,
life.
and your siblings coming up after you. They're like, "Oh God, here's another one." Just the opinion is already formed, and you can't undo it. And years can go by, and your athletes can. I'm not gonna say they suffer, but
It can have
it's
an effect.
it's made obvious.
Hmm.
It's made obvious. So anyway, that was probably the crap part. Was once opinions are formed, then you just kind of stay away from that organization, which is fine for me.
Yeah.
I loved competing in there, but at the time, timing,
Huh.
everything is anew now.
Yeah, and
So
you've already kind of, I think, answered this one. But what is the best experience that you've had?
winning my IFBB pro card was the first time I ever almost cried on stage. It was a
Almost.
feeling. It was just, well, I can't cry in public. That's just crazy. But I mean, that was like literally, I had like I said, when I went, I had no intention thinking that I had a chance. I mean, I knew I was good. You don't go into it like,
I
oh, I'm
suck.
going to get last place,
Uh-huh.
but you know the odds. And then to do it in 13 weeks is insane. And just everything all in that moment, and the pressures from home and the way that it all went, it was just like this confirmation of you were born for this, you were born to do this. How are you going to use this platform to help other people?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a confirmation that I had done the right things, made the right decisions. It was just, I don't know, it was just an awesome feeling.
Cool. Yeah, and what's your definition of success?
Happiness. Not every day. You're not going to wake up and skip through life and be like, oh, everything is just beautiful and rainbows and butterflies. But overall, happiness and other
Uh-huh.
people around you, happiness, I mean, you got to get to a point in life where you're like, your job's not going to come hug you when you're in the hospital.
No.
And, your family, it's important. Your real friends are important. My dogs, they're important,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep it, just the simple things, and realizing that the simple things that's success.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It really is.
All right, and I have some top files we'll run down, and
Cool.
I've added some things to this list as we've been talking. So I'm gonna get your opinion on your top five. Let me see. Let's say you do top five songs because I originally had just music down here. What's your top five songs?
Oh man, I'm not good at that. I listen to a lot of electronic music. I have since the 90s. Everybody looks at me and they're like, really? So, I mean, Tiesto and Armin van Buuren are high on my list. So, if I'm working out, maybe I'll put a whole track on, like a set, and it'll play for an hour. And I can't tell you the names of all those songs.
Yeah, they kind of run together.
Yeah, and then I'm also in this weird, strange genre right now of like Christian rap, which I'd never
Oh, yeah?
visited before. And so NF, and that whole genre, I really like them right now.
Mhm.
So I don't know. And then I'm open to just about anything but opera. So, mhm.
Opera's kind of like the electronic music. It all kind of runs together.
It is. It's old school electronic.
Yeah. That's what I'm used to.
So yeah, I'm not one of those like, oh, a little fitness playlist. I don't sit down and download songs or pick songs. I'm gonna get on Pandora. I'm gonna put one song in and hit go and create a channel and let it just run.
Just run. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So I now have top five movies.
Top 5 movies. Fight Club is my number 1 movie.
Oh, yeah?
Crazy. Ghost is still pretty high on my list.
Uh-huh.
Schindler's List. No, not Schindler's List. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
That one. And then let's see. Training Day.
Mm-hmm. That's Ethan Hawke and Denzel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's one more. I'd probably stop there.
Oh, yeah?
Those I can watch on repeat, though.
Uh-huh. All right. And
Forrest Gump.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a long one.
I
to
probably
watch on
watched
repeat.
it too many times.
And I have top five men.
Top 5 men?
Yeah.
Like, that I think are good looking or
Or influential. Either one.
I was like, I don't know. That's weird.
Men's.
Vin Diesel's fine to me.
Oh, yeah.
So
Have you
there's
met
that.
him?
I have not met him.
Oh, okay.
No. but that would be cool. I just want him to talk to me. That's all. I like his voice.
I think his voice sounds
Um,
better on tape than in person.
yes, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Um, I like Barack Obama. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "What?"
That was out of
But I
left field.
like, yeah. Well, you said influential.
Yeah.
So to me, I like the way, I like the diversity of his life. I like that he came from two people that were completely different from completely different places, grew up in different places, was borderline a hippie in a way.
Mm-hmm.
His mindset wasn't closed, so he was open to cultures and learning, and he also saw discrimination from every side.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he was so well rounded by the time he got to being a president that, I mean, regardless of actual policy or whatever, because I just feel like money skews a lot of things in that area. As a
Oh, yeah.
person, I feel like he's so intelligent, has this cool melting pot of life. Of course, he
Life
had a smart
experience.
woman.
To back him.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Other men, I'm just kind of weird about humans. I don't really be like, I don't go like, oh, she's female. I really like her because I really either just like them as a human or I don't.
Yeah. You want me to ask top 5 women?
Michelle Obama's cool.
Uh-huh.
Top 5 women. My mom.
Nice.
My mom's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's about the only thing I've ever seen that looks like unconditional love. So she's
cool.
pretty awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Eleanor Roosevelt. I love reading her stuff. Mother Teresa's pretty cool too. Love reading her stuff. I mean, who does? Who just gives up the comforts of life to be with someone who's suffering?
Mm-hmm.
Not many people.
Now, were you a history person?
No, I'm really not. I just liked them as humans.
Okay.
No, I really wasn't a history person. I was like, why do I have to do this? But, who else? This is going to be weird. Here's my left fielder for this one. What's the blonde girl's name that had the late night show and the Netflix show, and she's got a dirty mouth, and Chelsea Handler.
Oh, not the person I was thinking of.
Even though I don't agree with all the things she is about, I love that she never fit the mold. Like, she doesn't bend on who she is, because I don't either. How
do you think she made it to where she was being like that?
I think she slept with the people at the top.
I got what I wanted, and I'm where I want to be.
I don't know that was necessarily the plan. I mean, maybe they just dated and then the things happened organically, but I mean, I'm sure it helped.
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend that was high up.
All right. So I know you.
That was a loaded question.
I wasn't expecting that answer, though.
Oh, well, I'm pretty transparent.
Oh, shoot. Top 5 books.
Oh, geez. Man, I can't even say all of them, like books, but I'm a weirdo. Everything that I read to learn. And it's almost always personal finance books. So like The Millionaire Next Door, all of Dave Ramsey's books, pretty much anything I could get my hands on personal finance wise, even old personal finance stuff. That's what I read. I rarely read for entertainment. I'd rather watch a movie, which a lot of people are like, really? You can sit still long enough for a movie?
Yeah.
But that's me. I like movies, but I like to read to learn. So
I found that reading a book for entertainment is much harder.
It's very hard. I have to read it forever.
Yeah.
Like, I have to go back and read some. If I put it down, I miss something.
I forgot the whole first chapter.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at that. Like,
Yeah, I can track a movie a whole lot better. But, I'm one where I'll watch a movie even if it's a favorite movie of mine, I may watch it and not know the supporting actor's character name.
I don't learn any of the names in the movie. I'm always like, the one guy that's real short, that's blah, 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 talking to the blonde girl. And they're like, you mean George and Clara? And I'm like, yeah, sure,
so.
those people. I do not learn names in movies. I'm like, my brain has so much capacity, and I'm not going to take it up just with movie names. So,
It's like I like Pulp Fiction, but it took me a long time to remember Vince's was John Travolta.
Exactly.
Oh, shoot. And I usually learn that stuff about myself when I'm telling a story or describing something, and I'm like, I don't know that guy's name. So you like the finance and Dave Ramsey and no books for entertainment?
Not really.
And what's your I kind of know that you do the fitness and things as a hobby, but is there anything that takes you away from it all? Is there a hobby that you have like that? Your escape.
I work so much now that
that's your escape.
I don't have like another hobby outside of that. I mean, if I was gonna say anything, like I carve out time to go hiking or be outside, something like that. And even then, though, I wouldn't say it's a hobby. Like, I'm not gonna go buy special shoes or whatever. But I try to make time to get outside, do stuff like that. I tried to garden one year, and then I was like, "Oh, this will be fun. It's outside." No, from now on, I only do tomatoes because it was, I was like, tomatoes.
Easy to grow.
Yeah, it's easy to grow, and it's right here, and it doesn't require time, and I'm not gonna feel bad if I let it die, because priorities.
Sometimes life hits you.
Exactly, and it's almost always at the same time because, like, I also do taxes for about 40 clients. So, during tax season, I have my fitness clients, my tax clients, my meal prep client, my rental units that I manage, my accounting job, my real, grown up big girl job, and everything else. And I take care of my house, by myself. So you got to fit all that in. And so it's kind of like scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the tomato plant and I'm like, you're dead. Sorry, dude.
Sorry, your tomatoes got to go.
One's got to go. Dog's got to live. Okay. I only have time to water one of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of the way that goes when you make your own way and you do the things that you enjoy. And when you think about hobbies that take you away from the hubbub, you don't have the hubbub to get away from when you enjoy what you're doing. So,
I can't actually say that. Everybody's like, how do you do all of these things? How do you not go crazy? And I'm like, I love all of the things I do. I do. I literally do. I get up in the morning. I don't say, "Oh crap, I got to do this again." And I'm like, "Man, what am I going to do today? So what all do I got to do today?"
Yeah. So you love Monday.
Monday doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. I like Monday.
Yeah. Mondays
God's like,
and
"Woo,
Fridays are
Monday."
equal.
But my Fridays, that it's like the weekend doesn't stop. Water heaters going out, or my toilet broke, or. So, and I train clients on the weekend, and I cook meal prep 37 meals on Sunday, so I don't have a Friday.
So when you say you meal plan, you actually cook for them?
I do for one guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This one guy, like, he lost a lot of weight in a month. And then he said, I just don't have time to cook the food. He's like, will you cook my food for me? I'll pay you. And my ears heard those words. And I'm like, sure.
I'm going to be
we'll
cooking
do this
anyway.
1 week and we'll see how it goes. He lost 10 pounds in a week.
Nice.
He was like, please do it again. So I did it again. Anyway, so now it's a routine. It's part of my day. So I just meal prep his food when I meal prep my food. And works out.
That's cool.
And like, Walmart and Kroger both have click lists, so I can just take that receipt, put it all in click list, pop, pick it up on my way from work, and then on Sunday I cook. It takes me about 2 hours to make almost 40 meals.
Shoot.
Yep.
All right. So I think
I'm a machine.
I think I'm going to wrap it up here, but I got one other thing that maybe a couple other things. I mean, if you're interested, can you put how can people get in touch with you? Social media, phone number, if you want to give that out.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm
as
on Facebook.
as a professional, not as people just calling to harass.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
I'll block you.
Hmm.
My Facebook is obviously Christina Reed, and there's a fan page, Christina Reed IFBB Pro. You can find me there. My phone number,
You
I
don't have
think
to
I
give
have a
that up.
Google Voice number. I was gonna say I got a Google Voice number somewhere, but here it is. There we go. 501-570-6119. So you can call that number.
Yeah. So if anybody out there is listening and they want, somebody that's serious and knows what they're doing and needs that bump, that push, you need to contact her. And even if it's just for a consultation, I'm sure you can set something up and, send them a bill, send them an invoice.
Oh yeah, everybody has PayPal these days, if not cash. Cash. Everybody says, "How you like to be paid?" I'm like, cash, Venmo, PayPal. I go through the whole thing, and then the last one is dog treats, because my dogs love dog treats. So
gotta keep them happy too.
Absolutely, balance. It's balance in life.
Cool.
But yep. So that's the easiest ways to get a hold of me is Facebook or send me a text. Usually, how that goes down would be, I'm going to call you and I'm going to say, "What are your goals?" If you don't have any, the conversation ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. What do you suggest?
I don't know. I don't know you. What do you want to do? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain muscle? Don't tell me you want to lose weight and gain muscle, because there's only a few people in the world that can do that. We're called pros. So unless you're on steroids.
Oh, shoot.
Then magic can happen. If you're already on steroids and you don't know what you're doing, please don't.
Oh, yeah. It still takes work.
Please stop.
Even if you're doing cycles, you still got to work. You just can't just sit back and do nothing.
Oh, no.
Some people think that.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. And saying we'll get out of here on this one. What advice would you give to somebody that's, say they just, they listen to this episode today and they're like, I need to take control of my life a little bit more. I can do this. And, I've been sitting on the couch and just being soaked up by these TV shows every day, and I'm just bored with my life, and I need something like to get fit, some self-improvement. What would you suggest to them? What's your advice?
Well, if it's in fitness, because you said self-improvement, and I think that there's different, that's a different piece. But fitness wise, first, just start. Get up. If you still want to watch that TV show, every gym in the world has a TV probably on that channel. Go walk. Walk. Start small. If you think you're going to cut out every single thing in that one day and you're going to keep doing it, you're not. So if you come in, you're like, okay, I'm giving up Cokes. I'm giving up all refined sugars. I'm giving up bread. I'm giving up McDonald's.
I'm going cold turkey.
I'm going cold turkey, man. And I'm going to eat healthy food, which they don't even know what it is, out of a can. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do all this fitness and I don't know anything. And I'm just going to watch these other people in the gym that don't know what they're doing. Don't do that. Just literally keep it simple. Get up and go walk 20 minutes. Walk as fast as you can. A good brisk walk. Come in. Drink some water. Your body is 70% water. Drink water. It's good for you.
It's an amazing thing.
Sleep. Cut those bad things out one at a time. This week, I'm going to give up Coke. The next week, I'm going to, don't overwhelm yourself. The cool thing about fitness and health, there's no end game. You can do it till you die. So why are you in a hurry? One thing at a time. Keep it simple. Yep.
It didn't build Rome in a day.
Oh, it absolutely didn't. Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate you giving me the time to talk to you, and I'll let you know when this episode is released, and for your listening pleasure and everybody else's.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Good to catch up.
Cool. And maybe we're doing it again sometime, and Do you have anything coming up?
I don't personally. I have an athlete I'm training for a show in November. But for anybody who's interested, I don't know where you are in your own life or if you're a bodybuilder, if you're in a prep, there's the Arkansas show, July the 31st, I believe. And then there's another show in September. There's a natural show in June. So if you're even thinking about doing a show, start getting ready. Don't wait till the last minute. Get out there and learn about those.
Yeah,
So,
stop
sport
talking
body,
about it and go out and do
yeah.
it.
Or heck, go support. It sounds crazy. There's a lot of people who have never seen a bodybuilding show and have no clue what it's about. Just do it for fun. Skip, skip going to eat one day and go watch a bodybuilding show. That sounds crazy, but might be fun.
Yeah,
or you'll
enjoy
hate
life.
It. Either way.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Thanks for tuning in and listening to the podcast. The best place to catch the podcast is on iTunes or at podbean.com or on YouTube. You can catch good streams there, good interaction. If you've listened, make sure you leave me a review, leave me a comment, subscribe. I want to know what you guys think about the podcast. And like I said, future episodes, I got the Passion and Warfare review. I'll let you know when that's coming up. Episode 17 is Melanie Hogan. I'll be speaking with her on her adversities and her success in life. It's a really good interview, so catch it next time. Follow the page, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys later.